So if you're a current or aspiring real estate investor, you may be wondering some of the refinancing strategies that you can use on your properties in order to maximize your cash flow and build out your real estate portfolio. In today's lesson, I'm going to go over with you all the advanced tactics and strategies that I use personally with my investor clients. Hi, this is Robert Weinberg, and on this channel we help individuals to achieve freedom through expert mortgage and financial strategies. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the like button, also the subscribe button, and hit the bell so you get notified on all of our future content. In this lesson today, I'm going to talk about refinancing strategies for real estate investors on investment properties. So a lot of the time a real estate investor is going to purchase a property in cash or a large down payment. If they are getting a mortgage, and they're going to want to recoup that money as quickly as possible so they can go and invest in other property or other opportunities, or just fix up the property that they just bought. So one of the main refinancing strategies is going to entail recouping your initial investment. And we would do this by putting a mortgage on the property or refinancing the existing mortgage that's on there in order to pull some additional money out and help you recoup that down payment or initial investment. Now, if the refinance is done within the first 6 months that you own the property, then it's considered delayed financing. And anytime that you refinance within the first 6 months, the lender is going to go off the lower of the purchase price or the appraised value. So you can't use the current market value until after you've owned the property for 6 months. Another main reason people refinance an investment property is to restructure a hard money loan into a conventional mortgage. So a lot of real estate investors, when they are buying an investment property, in order to close quickly, they'll use a private loan or what's called a hard money loan, which is typically a private investor that lends money at very high interest rates with high fees, and they're typically going to be short-term loans, maybe 6 or 12 or 24-month loans. So as a real estate investor, it's important that you have a plan in place to pay that loan off quickly while still retaining the property. And usually what that's going to entail is refinancing and paying off the hard money loan and replacing it with a conventional mortgage, which can take a little bit longer than a hard money loan to put in play, but also comes with much lower interest rates, much lower fees, and more favorable terms. So going from one to another is going to allow you to lower the interest rate. Hard money loans a lot of the time are 10, 12, 15% interest rates, whereas conventional investment property loans can be maybe 4, 5, 6%, depending on the specific terms. So that's one huge reason. Also, that lower interest rate will give you a lower monthly payment as well. And of course, if you've got rental income or a particular financial plan where you can put extra money onto the principal, you may be able to take a 15 or a 20-year mortgage and accelerate the payoff to end up with a free and clear investment property that much sooner. Now, one of the great things is that after 6 months of owning an investment property, you can go in and get a conventional mortgage with it using the market value. So you may have purchased a property for, say, $75,000, and the property is actually worth $100,000. So in the first 6 months, as we said, they're going to go off that lower of the purchase price or appraised value. But after you've owned that home for 6 months, the lender's going to go off of the actual market value on that. So I had a client that bought a property for $60,000. He put in a little bit of work to it, and it was worth $105,000 after 6 months. We were able to go in and put a mortgage on the property and have him recoup all the money that he put in and then some, which he's now using to buy another property and repeat that process. So this is especially useful if the market's gone up a bunch since you bought it, and or you've done some improvements like we just said after you purchased it. Now, one of the main reasons people do this cash out refinancing on investment property is to purchase additional properties and just repeat this process over and over to build out a real estate portfolio. Also, debt consolidation, as we've talked about in other videos, and other investment purposes. You may have a non-real estate related opportunity that you need money for, and of course, tapping the equity in the investment properties can be a great way to do that. Now, it's just important that you understand that unlike an owner-occupied property that you live in where you can access 80 to 90%, depending on the loan program, on a cash-out refinance, on an investment property, conventional mortgage, you're going to be capped at getting between 70 and 75% of the market value of the property in cash out. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your calculations. Now, one final thought on this is that a lot of investors for liability protection will purchase properties using an LLC. So one of the great things that's happened in the last year or so is that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, who run the conventional mortgage entities, have put out some guidance that will allow an investor to have a property in an LLC, and that will count towards the 6-month seasoning as long as they're majority owner of the LLC. So if you bought a property in the LLC and you're the majority owner, that will count towards the time frame that you need to be an owner to do a cash out refinance. It is important that you understand, though, that at the time of the closing on the conventional mortgage, they will require that the property come out of the LLC and into your name for the purposes of closing on that loan, since they are lending money to you directly as the borrower and not to the LLC. So I hope that this has given you some great insight on investment property refinancing strategies. You can follow me on all my social media channels, and if you need help or advice in regards to your particular financial situation and your mortgage, you can reach out to me via call, text, or you can private message me on social media. Hope it helps, and we'll talk to you soon.